Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
Well, we're just responding to the growth in Moorhead, and as I show the enrollment chart, you know, we'll be up over 6,000 students.
Exploding enrollment, cramped classrooms, and the proposal for a $78.2 million vote. It's the state of Moorhead Public Schools. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight.
We've been telling you that this has been coming for months. Moorhead school officials say they need to keep pace to educate young ones. Valley News Team's Bradford Eric reports on what this proposal means for Moorhead wallets.
Another meeting of the Community Facilities Task Force doesn't sound like much, but there are big changes in the works all around Moorhead, to the tune of $78.2 million.
It would meet the need up until for about 10 more years.
Superintendent Lynn Kovash says the plan calls for a new elementary school, renovating and upgrading existing buildings, and an addition to the middle school.
We saw when we built schools that it really helped with community growth and people wanting to live in Moorhead. Before that time, we were declining. We had not had a lot of home growth.
If the school board approves this plan, the hope is more modern, safer schools, with the trade-off being more money out of your bank account. In Moorhead, the average home is valued at about $155,000. That means you'll pay an extra $105 a year. The next stop for this plan, the school board meeting this coming Monday night. If approved by the board, it heads to the ballot this coming November. Bradford Eric, Valley News Live.
Right now, Moorhead schools rank as the 35th largest district in the state of Minnesota.
More information tonight on the new jail plans for Clay County. Right now, the county is shipping over 40 inmates a day to other prisons because there's just no more room. The idea is to expand the jail and the existing law enforcement center to better house inmates and better respond to the growing amount of crime in the area. County commissioners say the debate over whether to build is over. They plan to move forward as soon as next week.
Department of Corrections, who oversees and permits our facility, has already told us that it's outdated and it can't, you know, it can no longer be functional as a jail it is today.
When it comes to funding, Commissioner Kevin Campbell says that they have two options: increase the property taxes in the county or have a referendum to approve a sales tax increase.
An appeals court has upheld the conviction and sentencing of a St. Michael, North Dakota man for the deaths of 2 children. The court rejected every challenge raised by 22-year-old Valentino Bagola. In 2012, Bagola was found guilty of stabbing 9-year-old Destiny Shaw and 6-year-old Travis DuBois Jr. on the Spirit Lake Reservation. He's currently serving 2 life sentences. Authorities say Bagola stabbed the children to death after he sexually assaulted the girl. In a confession, he said it's because he was angry at the children's father, but couldn't find him.
Attorneys for death row inmate Alfonso Rodriguez Jr. want a federal judge to close portions of an evidence-related hearing next month. His attorneys are asking for a temporary and partial closure of the hearing, which is scheduled for September 8th. We don't know the reason for the request because the motion is sealed. Rodriguez was sentenced to death for kidnapping and murdering Drew Shadeen. Attorneys have claimed that Rodriguez isn't mentally competent for the death penalty.
The presidential debate season is underway with candidates squaring off ahead of the primetime tonight debate in Cleveland. The majority of the debate was focused on familiar issues, including Hillary Clinton, the Iran nuclear deal, and dealing with ISIS. We have reaction from Washington on the debate from Valley News Live's Washington Bureau, Jacqueline Policastro.
It's all about Spin Alley right now. The candidates are catching up with the media as they continue to fight for the party's nomination.
It was contentious, some people might say informative, and definitely entertaining. Some highlights from the candidates at the Republican primary debate.
I don't frankly have time for total political correctness. And to be honest with you, this country doesn't have time either.
I'm my own man. I govern as a conservative, and I govern effectively.
I defunded Planned Parenthood more than 4 years ago, long before any of these videos came out.
I've got a proposal. I'm the leading voice in America for not arming the allies of ISIS.
This election better be about the future, not the past. It better be about the issues our nation and the world is facing today, not simply the issues we once faced.
We balanced an $11 billion deficit on a $29 billion budget by cutting over 800 programs in the state budget. We brought the budget into balance with no tax increases.
Everybody across this country knows that the tsunami of drugs is threatening their very families. So we're treating them and getting them on their feet.
I will always tell the truth and do what I said I would do.
America became a great nation early on, not because it was flooded with politicians, but because it was flooded with people who understood the value of personal responsibility.
And we changed the policy to be pro-life and protect children instead of rip up their body parts and sell them like they're parts to a Buick.
It's likely one of the candidates who took the stage tonight will be back here again in Cleveland next year to accept the party's nomination. Until then, the debate continues. Reporting in Cleveland, Ohio at the Republican debate, I'm Jacqueline Policastro.
Now, earlier in the night, the 7 other Republican presidential hopefuls also squared off. It was known as the happy hour debate. And several news outlets, commentators, and people on social media declared Carly Fiorina, the former Hewlett-Packard CEO, as the winner of that by a large margin.
After breaking ties with the Boy Scouts of America over a decision to allow gay leadership, Bishop David Kagan of the Bismarck Diocese met with the executive director of Scouts in North Dakota. Earlier, the bishop said that Catholic churches would no longer sponsor Scout troops. While the Scout executive didn't want to get into too much detail about his conversation with the bishop, he did say that he wanted to show gratitude for their decades of working together.
For him to know that we were just thankful for that relationship and all we were able to accomplish. In addition, we talked a little bit again just about the transition and how that would take place.
Hoyt added that he was excited that the Catholic Scouts can continue to receive religious emblems, which are earned through working with Catholic priests.
Fergus Falls has a new rental inspection policy, and the city has about 700 apartments. The voluntary policy is aimed at keeping apartments well maintained and safe by using a multi-tier inspection program. Landlords who opt out must pay higher apartment fees. The city says it developed the policy after tenants complained to the city.
And we also feel that rental properties are like a business. So it would be the same as running a restaurant, or there's certain standards, requirements that need to be followed.
Frankly, it's intimidating, and I think most owners reading through the list would find things that they would rather not have to deal with, especially on the spur of the moment.
At least a dozen landlords are against the policy, saying the inspection list is too broad. The city says the inspections will begin at the end of the year.
Thousands are killed every year from drivers running red lights. About half of those deaths are pedestrians, bicyclists, or people in the other car who are hit. This week is Stop on the Red Week, a push for awareness made by the National Coalition for Safer Roads. Local police tell us running a red light is the second biggest reason for crashes in our area. Sergeant Jim Kringley with the Fargo PD says yellow means prepare to stop. You shouldn't roll through it unless you are at the intersection when it turns yellow. But oftentimes those who do run red lights don't get pulled over.
To go after the traffic violator, that officer might have to run the red light himself and also cross 6 lanes of traffic. So the officer hopefully uses common sense, saying that's not a safe thing to do.
If you get caught running a red light in North Dakota, it's going to cost you $20.
Power is back on for some 2,100 Cass County Electric members in Fargo and West Fargo. The outage began around 6 p.m. and mostly affected people in the Osgood and Deer Creek neighborhoods in Fargo and the Westport Beach neighborhood in West Fargo. Took crews about 30 minutes to restore power. Still no word yet on the cause.
A Fergus Falls, Minnesota man is thankful tonight after his 42nd wedding anniversary gift from his wife was returned after being stolen. Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop spoke with the couple about what the handmade gift means to them.
She put a lot into it. I'm glad it came home.
A few planter pots in a candy dish might not mean much to some people, but to veteran Roger Smith, it means more.
It's a beacon that guides you home, and you always want to go home.
Roger and his wife, Glenda, served in the military and lived in the Carolinas for many years. While raising their family, Glenda stayed back and Roger would leave.
Well, more than once, I jumped on an airplane, left them sitting on a tarmac while I went away, and nobody knew when we'd be back.
Roger says although they lived near the coast for many years, they never visited a lighthouse together until last year. When the lighthouse disappeared from their front yard this past Saturday, The Smiths lost hope and were shocked that this happened in their community.
We really weren't expecting it to come back. We figured if anything, we'd find it crushed on a street corner someplace.
Roger says the most special part of the lighthouse is the candy dish.
Oh, I believe it's been there since before we got married. It's one of the few things we have that was in the original household.
The lighthouse was returned to the Smiths yesterday after word spread about it going missing. In Fergus Falls, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
The couple says it plans to cement the lighthouse in the ground this weekend and adds they are grateful for the community's support.